As technology has taken over our lives, hackers have grown more powerful. With a few keystrokes, they can make a serious impact on the real world. Some of them use that power for personal gain, and others use it for the greater good. Some hackers do it as a form of activism, and others do it just for fun. To take a closer look at what hackers can do, here are 10 of the most insane hacking stories ever. 1. Phone phreakers are like the pioneers of hacking. The term refers to people who explored the telephone system and sometimes exploited its weaknesses by using tones. One crazy example came in the late 1960s when phone phreakers discovered something surprising about a toy whistle from Cap'n Crunch cereal boxes. It made a tone at the perfect frequency to reset phone lines. That meant by simply blowing the whistle into the phone, you could bypass the regular system and place a call for free. Phone phreakers were able to enjoy free long-distance calling this way for years, until a change to the telephone system made it obsolete in 1980. 2. In 2017, about 150,000 printers around the world surprised their users by printing out a page on their own. The printed message told users that their printer had been hacked, and then ridiculed them for making it so easy. A hacker, calling himself Stack Overflowing, was responsible, and the printed messages were a warning. The hacker had created a program to search the internet for printers that didn't have their basic security controls switched on. It would then exploit that weakness and print the warning. Below the fear-inducing phrases at the top of the page, the messages included this suggestion for users to avoid being hacked. For the love of God, please close this port. The hacker said his goal was to help people fix their problem, while having a bit of fun at the same time. 3. In 1990, an LA radio station held a contest with a $50,000 Porsche as the prize. To win, all you had to do was be the 102nd caller. The radio station had promoted the contest with billboards all over town, and everyone in the LA area was talking about it. But when the time came, a 24-year-old hacker took over the station's phone lines to make sure he won. His name was Kevin Poulsen, and he went by the alias Dark Dante. Poulsen had been hacking into the phone company's computer systems for years, and he used those skills to take over all 25 of the radio station's phone lines. He then blocked out all calls except his own. It's believed he used his phone hacking abilities again when he was featured on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, and the show's 1-800 phone lines mysteriously crashed. But he was caught shortly after. During their prosecution, the FBI called him the Hannibal Lecter of computer crime. 4. When Apple released the iPhone in 2007, it was an AT&T exclusive. That meant buyers in the US couldn't get one unless they were AT&T customers. And it seemed that unlocking the phone would be tough due to new security measures used by Apple. Many people were trying to figure out ways to unlock it, and even more were waiting to hear when it happened. But a 17-year-old named George Hotz, or GeoHot, was the one to figure it out, and it only took him about 1 month. Once word of Hotz's achievement started to spread, the founder of a phone retail and repair company contacted him and proposed a trade. In exchange for one unlocked iPhone, he gave Hotz 3 locked iPhones, a Nissan, and a consulting job at his company. Seems like a pretty fair deal. 5. In the early 1990s, Kevin Mitnick was the world's most famous hacker. He'd been hacking since he was 16 and said he'd broken into the systems of phone companies, including Bell, Nokia, and Motorola. His activities included hacking into voicemail computers, intercepting private messages, and copying valuable software. He said he was driven by the pursuit of knowledge and adventure. When the FBI came after him, he went on the run and used clone cell phones to hide his location. The FBI search for Mitnick was highly publicized, and that's when he became a legend. The media attributed crimes to him that he never committed, such as hacking into NORAD's computers when he was a teenager. After more than 2 years on the run, Mitnick got caught, and his legendary reputation would come back to bite him. While in prison, he was kept in solitary confinement for 8 months. Why? Because law enforcement officers convinced the judge that Mitnick was extremely dangerous. They said that Mitnick could start a nuclear war by whistling into a payphone. 6. In 2000, a 16-year-old named Jonathan James became the first juvenile to go to prison for hacking. His crimes included breaking into the computer systems of the Department of Defense and NASA. While in NASA's system, he stole software that the government said was worth almost $2 million. It was software that was used to run the International Space Station, and James said he only took it to learn more about how it works. His activities caused NASA to shut down its computers for 3 whole weeks to investigate the breach. Experts said that if he was an adult when he committed these crimes, he would have been sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. Instead, he was given 7 months house arrest. 7. In 2014, at a hacking conference in Germany, a hacker named Jan Krissler made a shocking demonstration. He showed that he was able to recreate the fingerprints of Germany's defense minister using just a few photos that showed her hands. He used high-definition photos to reverse engineer the fingerprint. The demonstration shed light on the problems with fingerprint scanners. At the conference, Krissler jokingly said, "After this talk, politicians will presumably wear gloves when talking in public." It wasn't the first time Krissler had made this kind of demonstration. In 2013, within 24 hours of the iPhone 5S release, he showed off a way to defeat Apple's thumbprint verification using a smudged thumbprint from the screen. 8. In the early 2000s, a man in London named Gary McKinnon carried out the biggest military computer hack of all time. According to U.S. authorities, he hacked into military and NASA computers and deleted important files. The government said it cost $700,000 to fix the problems he caused. He also left behind some messages for the U.S. government, including, "Your security is and I am solo. I will continue to disrupt at the highest levels." McKinnon said his hacking was done in the public's interest, and his only goal was to uncover evidence of government cover-ups. Specifically, he believed the government had proof that aliens exist and had access to alien technologies, including anti-gravity and free energy. McKinnon claimed he successfully found documents relating to aliens, as the documents included phrases like non-terrestrial officers. However, he also noted that that could just be another term for astronauts. The U.S. wanted to charge McKinnon with crimes that could carry a sentence of up to 70 years in prison. But after a lengthy battle in Britain, McKinnon avoided extradition and didn't face any charges. 9. AshleyMadison is the dating website for people who are in a relationship and want to cheat, so privacy is pretty important to its users. But in 2015, a group calling itself the Impact Team hacked into AshleyMadison's database. They stole data that included usernames, email addresses, and other details. The group posted a warning that said they would release the info unless the company permanently shut down the site. When the site didn't shut down by the deadline, the Impact Team released the user's details. While some argued that the users of a cheating site don't deserve their privacy, the leak was also blamed for causing a lot of havoc. One cybersecurity firm pointed out that the leak may have put people in danger. That's because over 1,000 of the leaked email addresses seem to be based in Saudi Arabia, where adultery is a capital crime. 10. In 2008, users from a group called 7chan hacked the website of the Epilepsy Foundation of America. As a cruel and reckless prank, they replaced the support forum with flashing images meant to trigger seizures. The attack used a JavaScript code to flood the forum with hundreds of messages. When a visitor clicked on one of the innocent-looking posts, they were taken to a page that filled the screen with flashing patterns. At the time, it was called the first computer attack to cause physical harm. According to the Epilepsy Foundation, several people were affected by the attack, suffering migraines and seizures. And there you have it. Hackers' activities may range from silly to shocking. But one thing is certain, by infiltrating the systems that run our world, hackers have a lot of power at their fingertips.